I'm gonna get small. I'm gonna sit down. First of all, let me say, hello, it's me, Super Mario. Woohoo! Mamma mia. Video? Video? Okay, okay, all right, all right. Okay. I have my camera now, so I can take a picture, except I can't see anybody. So I want to say, oh yeah, thank you very much for playing my games. And Luigi number one, ho ho. And Wario, have a rotten day. Yahoo. Oh wait, I forgot. Mommy said say something nice. Oh yeah. There. And Waluigi, I always go last. Wah! And baby Luigi. And baby Mario, let's go! Yahoo! Hi. It's such an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys. Thank you so much. I've never seen such a great welcome. I thank you very much. We've been signing autographs, and I want to encourage you. Come by the table. We're still signing. We'll be signing as soon as I'm done here, after we get a quick little bite to eat. But I want to thank, of course, what a wonderful life that I have, to get to do what I love to do, to travel the world, to see people that enjoy my work and enjoy what I do. And it's what I wish for everybody, is that you have that wonderfully unique position that I have, that you get to do what you love to do in life, and then you do that. And you do it more and more and more, and then you see that it has an impact on people's lives. Honestly, it's really such an incredible gift, and it's one that I want everybody to have. Is that sense of loving what you do, loving your life, and quieting the voices of negativity inside your head that say that you can't do it, that you're not good enough, or whatever it is that's your personal messenger. I certainly have mine that's like, rah, 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 rah. There's a little Wario and a little Waluigi and me, in me too. So, but I hope for you that you can calm the nasty voices and find the beautiful voice inside you that tells you what a wonderful person you are, and how much love and how much joy you bring to the world, because all of us do. So that's my wish for you. And I certainly want to thank the Nintendo for giving me the chance to play so many great characters over the years. It's been 30 years now of doing what I absolutely love to do. And it's just been one gift after another. I literally walked in the door one day, and there's, and then I go in one day, and there are the babies, and then, and just, just the opportunity to play and be silly and have fun, that's really what I do best, is be ridiculous. And so I do that with great joy and great happiness. And also, of course, thank you very much to Too Many Games. What an absolute thrill to be invited here. I'm so sorry that last year didn't work out, but, just to see everybody this year is an absolutely wonderful, wonderful thing. So I thank you all for coming. I hope everybody continues staying safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, do all those things, so we can come back and, again sometime soon, and we can keep, getting this whole country healthy and happy again. Because that's what it's all about. And really, they create a wonderful, safe atmosphere and a wonderful place where you can meet people that love the same things that you do, and find great joy in the same things you do. And I've actually met quite a few people that got married or have relationships because they met at a con. It's like, oh, I met my boyfriend, I met my husband, I met my, my girlfriend. It's just amazing, because it brings together like-minded people, So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm particularly grateful for you, because your love of the games, or your love of what I get to do, what any actor gets to do, is what gives me the chance to come out here to Pennsylvania, to Too Many Games. So thank you very much. I honestly never knew that I was going to be an actor. When I was about 50 years ago, when I was struggling in my world to figure out what in the world I was going to do, I had no idea. I thought, well, maybe I'll be a psychologist or a lawyer or a political scientist. And, but I had one commitment, and that was to be happy. And that little commitment is to like what I do. And that took me on this strange journey of going to, thinking I was going to go to law school, thinking I was going to go to psychology school, thinking I was going to be a professor. And then all of a sudden, because I couldn't get my classes at UC Berkeley for my final year and my thesis and everything, I said, forget it, I'm leaving. And a friend of mine called me up and said, hey, why don't you come and take an acting class from me? And I said, Les, there is absolutely no way I could ever take an acting class. I could never stand in front of people or sit in front of people. I'm way too shy. He says, oh, well, come on, we'll eat lunch together and then you go. Eat lunch? Okay. And it was my belly that got me involved in acting, I'm going to tell you right now. And my stomach has held a great prominence in my life ever since, as you can see from a profile. But you know what? We started doing our classes, and we had to memorize monologues. And I said, I don't have to do it though, right? I'll memorize, but I don't have to do it. He goes, no, don't worry. Just memorize it. It's good for you. So I memorized my speech. And I go to the class, and everyone's doing their speeches, and all of a sudden I hear, well, Charles, you're up. And I'm like, I mean, I walked up to the stage, like, and I had this spoon mirror, my name is Joe. I died a terrible death in a fire in a warehouse and a blah, 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 blah. And I didn't know what my words were. I didn't know anything. I didn't know that I started speaking. All I knew was my subtext was, oh my gosh, you're going to die. You're going to die. This is horrible. You're going to die. And I'm sitting there. I think what they're hearing is, but I'm actually saying, my name is Joe. I died. And I'm sitting there, and my foot is shaking so much. I hear this voice in my head go, put your weight on your right foot. So I did. And then my left foot is shaking like this. And I heard, put your weight evenly between your 2 feet. So I did. And then they're both shaking like this, And somehow I survived the monologue. I don't know how, because I was sure I was going to die. And I heard, wow, that was great. How come you're the only person that wasn't nervous? What? So that was my beginning of a very strange inspiration. So I started going like, well, this is really fun. If that's going to be the way, I love it. And I started doing it more and more and more. But the thing that made me become an actor was failing miserably at a place where I thought I had for sure won, and that was an audition for Oberon in Midsummer Night's Dream. I was sure that I got the part, and I called Les, I did the best audition. I watched everybody else. I'm pretty sure I got the, He said, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Oh no, I was really good. I didn't get Oberon. I didn't get anything. I didn't get to carry the furniture in and out for the play. And so that wonderful failure is why I became an actor, because that's the thing that lit the fire. You know how your mom says, well, honey, you can be anything you want in life. And you go, yeah, but what? What? And that was I needed to fail at getting something I really wanted to start the fire in me. And that did it. And I went back. Berkeley Repertory Theater had an audition, and it was on our little call board. So, everyone, the same place where I saw Charles Martinet didn't get Oberon. Charles Martinet didn't get anything, It was where I said, oh, audition for Berkeley Rep. And so I went, okay, I'm going to go audition with Oberon. And I did, against the people that actually played Oberon, were in the play. And I got the apprenticeship at Berkeley Rep, and that was the start for me of like a woohoo. And then I did theater for 10 years. I went to school in England to train to be an actor. And, before long, I came back to America, and I'm acting, and I didn't even realize that was all of a sudden my career. But I got tired of theater, and I quit, tried to do business, had a nervous breakdown because just not for me. And then, I ended up, a friend of mine called and said, hey, do you want to come on audition for a corporate video? And I said, what's a corporate video? It's a video that's corporate. Oh, what do I do? Act. Okay. So I went and I auditioned for this thing, monolithic memories, MMI, oh, teach puddles of pondering protoplasm, anything. And all they want to do is talk about the rub. So I did that, and it was super fun. I did the first 10, I ended up doing 600 of those. And one day, I'm doing standing there doing my commercial as the American Gothic, the guy in the front of the barn with his wife and the pitchfork. And it was no words, and then we did that and lit that for 9 hours of standing there in the heat. All of a sudden, he goes, well, that's great, we got it. Hey, listen, Charles, do you do voiceover? And I said, sure. And I really didn't know what a voiceover was. Because to me, Fred Flintstone was Fred Flintstone. You know, the people that I saw, they were so real to me. It never occurred to me that somebody was behind a microphone doing this stuff. So I said, sure. And he goes, well, great, here's the script. And I did Orchard Supply Hardware, the right item at the right price, right now. There you go, here's another $250. I'm a voice actor. You know? And then I did maybe 1,000 commercials and things. And then I'm doing I'm saying, you know, it takes the intention of being happy, and I don't know what else. But, you know, I'm sitting on the beach doing what actors do, waiting for my pager to go off, and reading a book, and enjoying the sun, and waiting for the sunset. And sure enough, my pager goes off, and it's like, oh, it's my friend. I guess we're going to go have dinner tonight. And so I leave the beach, I get on the phone, and I call him up, you know, put my quarters and dimes in there. And he goes, hey, buddy, listen, you got to go crash this audition because it's for a job in Las Vegas that I'm doing. And I said, there's absolutely no way I would ever crash an audition. I am a professional actor. Where should I go? And I can't believe it, but I got off the beach, I drove in, I found a parking space, first miracle in downtown San Francisco, and I walk in the door as the producer is walking out the door, and I literally said, I knew the Sony camera bag, so I said, hi, can I read for this? And he goes, all right, come on inside, we'll put the camera back up. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn named Mario for this company called Nintendo. And we're going to do a real-time animation system, and you know, we'll have these things glued to your face, and you'll talk, and Mario will move his mouth at the same time. We'll have a hidden camera, hidden microphone. We'll call it MERT, Mario in real time. We have no idea if it's going to work or not. And if it doesn't work, we're not going to pay you to sit around drinking coffee all day. So make up a voice, make up a video game, make up anything you want. Start talking, and when you run out of things to say, that'll be your audition. So I'm thinking to myself, Italian plumber from Brooklyn. Get out of my face. I'm working here. Hey, what do you want from me? I'm under your sink already. I'm ready to get out. And I thought, well, that would not be fun to do for 8 hours a day. And what if there were kids in the audience? I don't want to be like mean, gruff, rotten person, you know? So I thought, well, I'll make him, you know, like the voice I did in Taming of the Shrew. You know, nice Italian guy. But I'll make him younger. I'll make it more joyful. And I'll just make up a video. I didn't know anything about video games except waka, 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 you know, and tuk, 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 you know, those little games where you shoot and it goes boom, and if you don't hit anything, you got to wait to shoot again until it's like asteroids and Space Invaders. And I was always terrible at those games. And I also thought, how do you make up a plot about that, you know? It's like, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot you again. You know, this was not my inspiration. Luckily, food was. So I thought, well, I'll just make up something about food, you know. I'll just make up something about food and you know, and I'll just do that nice voice. And I heard action. I said, hello, I'm Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. You go get some sausage. I'm going to get some spaghetti. We put the spaghetti in this pizza, and then we put the sausage in the pizza. And then I chase you with the pizza. And if I catch you with the pizza, you got to eat the pizza. And then you're going to make a pizza. Because he didn't say cut. So I thought, and I'm very good at following direction, because my theater training said, always follow direction, which was, don't stop until you run out of things to say. So then you're going to make a pizza. If you chase me with the pizza, if you catch me with the pizza, I'm going to eat the pizza. Then we're going to make a lasagna, and I'm going to chase you with a lasagna pan. If I catch you with a lasagna pan, you're going to ride down the hill and chase me with a lasagna pan. And then you're going to make a lasagna. And then you're going to make a tortellini. And I started going through every pasta that I knew and every Italian dish that I knew until I was making up Italian. And then we're going to make a nice pastelotollo. And then the pastatello. It's going to be great. And I chase you with the pastelatello. And if I catch you with the pastelatello, you got to chase me with the pastelatello. And apparently, while I was rambling on for 30 minutes, the cameraman turned to the director, because they were on their way for a cocktail when I caught them anyway. And he said, do you think if we just left and came back in an hour, he'd still be going? To which the producer said, yes, let's get out of here. But luckily they didn't. And they stayed long enough until I was like, and then we're going to make it, and after that we make a blah, 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 blah. And I heard, stop talking. Cut. There's no more tape. Thank you very much. We'll be in touch. And so I managed to traumatize them enough to know that I would never shut up. But, and I thought, well, that was the end of it. There's the door. Get out of here. I went back to the beach. I watched the sunset. And we went and had dinner. It was a wonderful night. He got on the phone. He called Nintendo and said, I found our Mario. I got him. And that was the only tape that he sent up was my tape. And that was 30 years ago of absolute joy and fun and glee. And the next thing I knew, I was down in Los Angeles with a friend of mine that did an impression of me doing an impression of this beautiful character. And there we were getting fitted for these face masks that would, with roller balls, that would take our movements and translate that into this beautiful character, this floating head. And we started doing that. It was a one-off production. But we had so much fun, and this is, again, back to the key to life to me. I had so much fun doing it, and people had so much fun being entertained by somebody being absolutely silly and ridiculous, that they said, oh, all right, what are you doing 6 months from now? We'll have you do something like that again. And we did it again, and then they said again. And I thought, this is the joy of a lifetime, to have a bunch of people that you love working with. And, you afterwards you go party, and, while you're doing it, it's a party. And so I turned a one-off job into a 30-year career so far. and it's still going very strong, thank you very much. And everything I've done, I've had such a great time doing. I mean, the Wario games, the Mario games, the Luigi games, everything has been such a joy, and went from one character to the next. I played Sunshine. Welcome to the Isle Delfino. And I forgot that I did that. I went, oh yeah, that's me. I remember that. And I, at one point I was very wise about things, but now I'm really stupid. I used to be able to remember, like, oh yeah, that was take number 3, because I wanted to try this with that. And now I go, oh, I did that? Well, look at that. So it's been so much fun, and that's just what I wish for everybody, is that you find whatever it is, if it's driving a pickup truck or whatever it is, doing voiceovers, creating video games. It's just a wonderful life when you're doing it by choice and doing what you love to do, And of course, being your own best friend is something I keep aspiring to be, because that negative voice that tells you that you're not good enough, that you're not going to make it, blah 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 blah, is always there. You just have to learn how to sort of be the one that takes control and manages to do what you want to do in life, and live the dream and live the choices that you have. And I think it's always been important to me to think of life as a lesson, in a way a spiritual lesson. But, when I was in my first acting class, there was a guy with a terrible stutter. And I at some point I asked him, have you always had your stutter? Because I was, naive enough to know that might be not something you should ask. And he says, no, on my 21st birthday, I went to this show in Las Vegas. My friends took me to a show in Las Vegas, a dinner theater, and during right after the meal, dessert's about to be served. All of a sudden, the music changes, lights come on my table, and the comedian goes, "Hey, it's somebody's birthday here today. Stand up, would you?" And I said, I stood up, and he goes, "Whoa, sit back down again. Look at that pimply-faced fat kid. Oh boy, I'll tell you. I mean, I bet the doctor slapped his mother." That sort of just that banter of comedy that was at his expense. And he said people laughed more and more, and the more they laughed, the more embarrassed I became. And I woke up the next morning with this stutter, and I've had it ever since. So for me, that was like the moment of my life to know that I knew I'd be doing comedy in my life, because there's always that for me, but that I would never do it at somebody's expense. And that was just a tremendous lesson for me, so that when I did Mario as my choice of character, it wasn't, hey, get out of my face, I'm waking, hey, enough of you. All right, shut up, I'm talking here. To choose not to do that character, and, I don't know whether other people had done that, it was a clear, valid choice, but my choice was, I want this character never to be hurtful. And I remember that all of my comedy and improv with Nintendo and Mario in real time, which I've done now for 30 years and still do, it was all the choices were to be uplifting and caring and loving and giving, and that's what I imbued in the character of Mario. That was, I think, my most proud accomplishment was putting the joy, the happiness, the love, and the fidelity in everything. The love for the princess, the joy with the kids, with everybody that interacts, and the courage of facing adversity with a "let's go, woohoo!" You know, where this is not actually my internal personality. I'm much more Luigi. You know, I absolutely trepidatious. Are you sure we should go outside? I don't know about this, you know. Mario, you know. Or as I autograph on Luigi cards, help. That's more my style of existence, you know. But I think every one of us aspires to be more like Mario, and that to me, I'm so glad. That before I actually did the games, I got the opportunity to do Mario Fundamentals, which was, you know, just kind of like being fun and silly, you know, go fishy, you know. And then I got this marvelous opportunity to do Mario Teaches Typing. And, you know, oh, thank you very much. Thank you. You know, and when I got the script and I'm in the studio, I'm reading the script, you know, for the first time, it goes, you know, there were things like, you failed, you know, that wasn't very good, you know. That was much worse. That was bad, you know. And I was reading that and I said, do you mind if I just like play with these words a little bit and just change them around? Because, you know, I never say no and I never say anything negative as Mario. And the producer graciously said, sure, go for it. And so it became, you know, oh, that was good, but I know you can do even better. Oh, nice one, but let's try again, you know. So it was always uplifting and always trying to be positive. And I think that is the essence of the character to me, is that love and that joy. And you know, I think that in our world we should all be loving and joyful to each other, at least kind and considerate. You know, one thing I've realized through my life is that we're all the same, you know. Everybody bleeds the same color. Our tears are the same woe, and you know, every mother cares about their children, you know, whether it seems like that or not at sometimes, you know, and what binds us is so much stronger and so much more important than what separates us, you know. And I think for me, it's just so important to have compassion and to love people, because this little journey on earth is so quick. I can't, you know, I'm 66 years old. I started doing Mario, I guess I was 35 when I auditioned for him. And, you know, and if you could tell me that actually 30 years had gone by, I would say, oh, absolutely no way. It's been about 7 years, and except I keep a chronicle, you know, and it's like, oh my goodness, you know. And that's the way life is it's very slow when you're very young. You know, it's like, how long is before summer vacation gets here, you know? And then as you get older, it's like, whoa, another year, whoa, 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 whoa. And as I say to my 94-year-old mother, my goodness, time is passing fast. And she says, wait till you're 90. You know, never to be outdone by your mom, you know? So it's just like, I just want to just always say that. Just take the time to appreciate yourself. Take the time to enjoy the world and the life that you have. And you know, take the time to be grateful. I think that great gratitude it's an energy that you can't always have, but if you're always aware of how great your life is, or how much you can appreciate what you do have in life, and not just, you know, where we're short, where we don't have enough, it generates more things to be grateful for. More things tend to come that way, you know. Now, I'm sitting here going blah, 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 blah. I don't know, did they tell you if there are going to be questions, or do I keep going blah, blah, blah? Should I keep blah, blah, blah? Okay, I'll blah, 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 because I've got about 20 more minutes, you know, and I've run out of things that I usually, you know, say, and usually people ask me questions, you know, like, what was my favorite Mario game ever? And I say, honestly, I have had so much fun doing every single one of them, but I'll tell you, when I got the phone call, Mr. Miyamoto would like you to be in a Mario game, I think I went, woohoo! That was like the climax of my entire performing life at that point. And that was Mario 64. That was after, you know, a bunch of things. Thank you. What a gorgeous game that was, and what a gorgeous session, because by then I had learned my joy of Mario Teaches typing and where I thought that character wanted to be. And we came in their script, and he's like, well, let's say he's happy, we have ideas, but, your ideas too. And so, woohoo, yippee, yahoo, all that stuff just kind of materialized and came to be, and each thing with more joy and more happy. Hop, hop, yahoo! And we just did that in the session, and it was so joyful. It was such a great experience to take my 5 years of improv and put it in there, so that when they said, well, when you're not having the control, or maybe I was like, spaghetti, ravioli, mamma mia. Again, Mario and I were closer than I think sometimes, dreaming about food and dreaming about the princess, It's like, that was the sort of thing, and it's been like, every time I've done a session, it's like the nicest people doing, the most wonderful, supporting things, it's like, I'm supposed to do like, 3 takes, like, hop, hop, hop. Then I go, hop, 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 whoop, hop, yip, wow, whoop, hop. And I keep going until I hear, stop talking. There's no more tape, I think we got it, Charles. I think we got that one. We got that one. Because I am, as I believe all performers should be, the dog chasing the stick on the park, or on the beach. You don't think about anything except getting the stick. And for me, the job is my having fun, exploring and playing in the sandbox. And so that's exactly what I do, is I just go play in the sandbox, and I never stop. And I think it's a good thing for performers. I don't know if there are any future voiceover actors here, but there's a great webpage by D. Bradley Baker, and it's called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. And if you aspire to be a voice actor, it's a wonderful thing that you can spend years. He teaches you the business, building a character, the arc of a character, the core beliefs of a character, how to project, how to, be the relationship with a microphone. Teaches you so many wonderful things. So if you're interested in voiceover, that's a great thing to do. All acting is pretty much the same. It's being truthful in that moment. And it all comes from inside of yourself. So you have to have that little bit of joy to be joyful. You have to have the sadness to be sad, And it's just a difference in film acting, when your head is like bigger than the stage in a theater. You obviously can't go, what? You just can think it or feel it, and that's big enough. But when you're in a cartoon, it's got to be, what? It's got to be big and large and silly and playful, or whatever that character is. So. And that's the sort of thing that you can learn on iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. It's quite a beautiful thing. And let me see, now, my goodness, we're burning through the time here. Okay. I did many years in San Francisco as an actor, and I never wanted to move to Los Angeles, because I like being close to my family and my friends, and my friends started having babies, and I was there for the birth of the babies, and that was just such an incredible gift. And another wonderful gift in life is seeing children come into the world, and 6 of them, and now they're married. They're in their 30s. It's just, life is just such a beautiful journey. It's such a beautiful adventure through the forests that at first you can dread, but then you realize they're full of the flowers and the joy and the happiness and the springs and all those things, But it's important to be stable. It's important to have your life in the place where you want it to be. And life is definitely bounces all over the place. But, there is that element through that I really truly believe that life gets better. That, when you're caring for yourself, when you're loving for yourself, when you're giving to yourself, and you stop that negative voice that tells you that you're not good enough, or that whatever that is that you hear. Yeah, everybody okay over there? Nobody injured? Yeah, oops. Everyone okay? Okay, we're going to assume that everyone's okay over there. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, yeah. Boy, you just never know. And see, and that's the other thing about life. You never know what's going to happen, do you? So you better be enjoying it and having fun the whole way through it, as much as you can. Because, of course, sadness is real, anger is real, but you're the one that has this unique power because it's only you that can decide how you respond to life. And it takes practice, practice, practice to be the center of your universe, and then at the same time to recognize that you're the center of your universe, but the whole universe is there for everybody, for the joy and the love of everybody, and that we're just this beautiful part of it. And I always try to encourage everybody to vote. I mean, this is America. It's so important to be heard, to have your views expressed, and it is unfortunate in this time. It seems like there are people that are trying very hard to not allow people to vote. But means when that happens, we just have to commit even more to voting, to discussing issues. And, that's not always pretty, but get out there and do your best to vote and talk to your friends about it, because the direction of our country is so important. And for me, it's like optimism, joy, supporting each other, loving each other, building our country to be the best it can be. That sort of thing is super important, And I say that even though I sort of live most of my year abroad and living around and traveling, because I love travel so much, and these shows give me this beautiful opportunity to be like I would never be here in Pennsylvania that I know of. Maybe I'd come for one holiday, but it's just a wonderful chance to be here and then go to Chicago and go to Toronto, and then after Toronto, maybe I'll go to Italy. Maybe I'll do something, because my great passion in life is I love travel because I love the different food, again. Food, culture, art, history, buildings, architecture, just the whole attitude of everything. Because the one thing I've learned is everybody in the world is super nice. Right now, we seem to be vilifying China, but if you go to China, these are just the nicest, most wonderful people. And I'm sure it's the same. The people are everywhere are really great. At Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, I've been to Vietnam, North and South, and people are absolutely so loving of Americans. And last year, I had this marvelous opportunity to go to Omaha Beach, where America and England and the Allies landed to defeat Nazi Germany. And I went to, of course, the graveyard. And I was amazed because I was literally just about the only American there. But there were so many people, Dutch, French, English people, the people that could travel there at the time, they're expressing their gratitude to America. It was so beautiful. And I think that's the thing. I'm making myself cry. Wait a second. Excuse me. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That gives me enough. Take a breath to be grateful to the people that came before us, our forefathers and our, the people who sacrificed so that we could be here. Sorry. I just always have so much gratitude. And to see that expressed to all of America, it really means that we still are one world. We still have the capacity to unify and to ally ourselves with these important people in all over the world. Because it's amazing to me, all these people, they're expressing their love for America. And I was being thanked, because my father wasn't in that theater. He was in the Pacific Theater. But, my uncles were in that theater. And it's, I don't know how in the world I got to this place, but just that sense of gratitude for the people who come before us. They give us this opportunity to have freedom. And it's our duty, absolutely, to give that to the next generation, to give democracy and vote and freedom to the next people that come in. So that's my feeling is in terms of politics, that's as far as I will ever go. But just to live our democracy is important, like living our dreams is important. If your dream is to be a video game producer, then live that dream, you know. Grab it, grab a hold of it. Don't quit your day job and fall off the cliff, but grab a hold of it and keep pursuing it. You know, there are people that want to be a voice actor, and you know, so study it, watch your cartoons, do all the things that you want to do to become that what you want to be, to live your dream, and be flexible enough that, you know, maybe if you don't have enough talent or that's not working for you, maybe you'll find out that, oh, wait a minute, my friend said, you know, hey, would you help me cast something? Or would you direct 2 other people in this? And you go direct and you go, oh my goodness, I love directing. But it's being open to the future that allows you to go, oh, I'm able to embrace this. I'm able to go, oh, that's what I want to do. Maybe not this, but that. So it's like keeping an open heart, an open mind to just do what exactly what it is that you want to do. And I think that's super important. And now, the next part of our journey will be, I don't know what exactly to say next. You know, I know that I have an enormous passion for food. I may have mentioned that, but food. You know, and I'm trying, one of the things that's the hardest as you get older, it's harder to lose weight, you know? So you have to enjoy, but you enjoy things even more, but you have to learn to enjoy things in smaller portions, which is something I'm working on, obviously, and not succeeding too tremendously. But I remember Mario, he was like pretty round, and I used to be like this, and now I'm much more like that, and he seems to be getting thinner, so we're meeting somewhere in the middle. But I have a huge passion. Last year, went to Greece on the first day that it opened, and went to Mykonos, and there was nobody there, you know, and it was amazing. And then Santorini, seeing this gorgeous Adriatic Sea, you know, I'd walk in to get a cup of coffee, walk back out, and every time I was stunned as though I had never seen it before. You know, it was just so beautiful. And then we went to Rome, we went to the Sistine Chapel, and there were like 50 people inside the whole Sistine Chapel. 2 years ago, there were probably 3,500 people waiting in line to get into the museum, to get in to the Sistine Chapel, and there were probably 5,000 people in the Sistine Chapel. You know, I was too intimidated to even go near it. But there, you know, there you walk in, and St. Peter's Basilica, 50 people in the whole place. St. Peter's Square, nobody, the whole thing empty, and experiencing like Trevi Fountain with nobody in it, nobody jumping, you know, and the Spanish Steps with nobody. It was like seeing Europe as I did when I was a child. And we went to live in Barcelona, Spain, and nobody spoke English, so you had to learn Spanish. Otherwise, you couldn't get food, you know. So, but it was like a completely different experience. So I also think, you know, if you enjoy traveling, it's a really, you know, as things get a little safer, it's a very good time to see the world and you know, see the world and experience these different foods and arts and culture, because it's amazing. My big plan is after I go up to Toronto is to go back to Europe and to look for truffles, obviously in the restaurant, not with the dogs or the piggies, but you know, just to go and have truffles, because I've never had the white truffle is like very expensive, you know, it's like one shave, $10, $20, $30, you know, but I've always wanted to do that, and I've explored in Rome, we had black truffles, and I'm like, yippee! It's so delicious, so I'm gonna go follow my stomach this year, you know? But it's been, yeah, thank you. It really is marvelous. I really feel so grateful because I feel like I'm living my dream, what I've always wanted to do. I didn't even know I always wanted to do it. I didn't know I wanted to be an actor, but all of a sudden I'm living this dream of like pure happiness and joy. You know, I got married this year during the pandemic, and it's just like, I have so much to be grateful for, and of course, thank you. Thank you. And I want that for everybody, you know. Into every life, a little sadness, a little bit of hardships and things like that. But overall, it's such a gorgeous, wonderful life. And so I wish the absolute best for everybody. And it amazes me that in my, what seems to be short life, but it seems to be longer and longer, fortunately, is I ended up doing like 75 professional plays in 10 years, and I don't know how that happened so fast. 1,000 commercials, and then 600 corporate videos, and then thousands. It's just you do so many jobs, wandering around, and then one day your pager goes off, and you got to be ready for that day, you know, because you don't want to miss it. If you miss the parking space, you don't get there. So you have to prepare yourself to be lucky. You know, Jack Nicholson said, it took me 20 years to make it overnight when he got his Academy Award. And a friend of mine directed him in his very first picture. So I know what that is, you know. And for me, it's just so many years of doing what I love in the process of realizing that I am doing what I love. And that's certainly what I wish for everybody here, is that you find what you love to do in life, that you follow your heart, your dreams, you build your destiny, because ironically enough, really, when in the end you discover that you are the hero of your own video game, you know, like Link, like Mario, you're the hero. And so you've been creating this beautiful reality and living your choices and your dreams, and all of a sudden you realize that's where we are. We're living our dream, and I want that for everybody, really, truly, seriously. And so I just wish you all the very best of luck and much safety. I hope that we continue getting through this pandemic together. I'm sorry we can't just put our masks down and see everybody. It's so funny, the wonderful guy that helps me out over at my table, Bailey, I didn't even recognize him because he's in a mask, you know. It's like, oh, you know, 3 years ago, he was there helping with photographs and things, and I literally didn't recognize him. So, but we will recognize each other, and we'll eventually, you know, hopefully these masks will come off and life will get back to normal, and we'll all get back to doing the things that we love. I think it's gradually happening. And I just hope it just keeps continuing that way. So please be safe. Please go out into the world and have as much fun as you possibly can. And I'm trying to think of if there's anything that I should say about what? I'm sorry, scream it. Golden Films. Oh my goodness, yes, I did Golden Films. I did like 8 or 10 of those animation films. They weren't the very best work that I've ever done, but I had a great time. I cast a bunch of friends of mine in these Golden Films, these animations. And they were sort of like released in Europe and released all around, like in China and sort of things, doing sort of like Disney-esque films, and they're very hard to find, and they don't quite cut the mustard or cut the whatever it is you're supposed to cut. But it was an adventure in learning to cast people and direct people and have fun in a different way, you know. And those days too, it was really different. It was such different days. When I was a young actor and I started doing voiceover and commercials, you know, your agent would call you, you'd go in, and everyone, a little pack of actors would be in the lobby waiting for your turns to all go in, because you'd be like 3 or 4 people's scripts, and you'd all go into this tiny little booth smaller than this table. There'd be like 8 people and 1 microphone, so you had to do your line, then hide, then do your line, then hide, you know, then wait for your turn, then go and back, you know. And nowadays, you plug everything into a phone. You know, even when I auditioned for Parthenax, you know, in Skyrim, you know, what brings you to the throat of the world? That, you know, I did that with I had a Sennheiser 416 microphone, a preamp, an amplifier, a computer, you know, a digitizer for sound. You know, I had all these little knobs and things, none of which I knew how to work. And now I have like a $10 piece of software that I plug into my iPhone, and a $250 microphone instead of a $2,500 microphone. and I just turn it on and I can do national commercials. Now, that's a wonderful thing because I hide under my bed covers so I don't have echoes in the room, and I do these videos and or these audio takes that go on national television or for advertising or on the internet. But the thing is, you don't get to see any actors anymore. You don't get to sit in the lobby and hang out. Hey, what you doing? You know, and you don't get to go in there and play around together. And I don't like. The only time I see Kenny and the people that do the other characters in Mario games is at cons like this, because the rest of the time we're all just doing our thing. You know, we sort of like you go into a studio and you go alone, and then when you know it's like you're punching out when the other person's punching in. Sometimes you sort of cross, but you never interact the way you used to in the old days, and in the old days of cartoons too, which they still do this sometimes, but most of the time not. Is you have like 6 microphones, 6 actors playing all the parts, and you know everybody with their script and improvising and doing that sort of stuff, and not stepping on each other's line and putting things clean. But you had like this real sense of society among actors. Now almost everybody is doing it. Like guys like Steve Bloom, wonderful actor, but he does a convention like this, and then he goes to his hotel room, and then he does a bunch of stuff for the next TV series that he's doing. You know, never gets to see the other actors that he's participating with and playing with. So it's definitely a very different world where it's not as social as it used to be. And, you know, you used to do a cartoon audition or a commercial audition. You'd go, you'd see people you hadn't seen for 6 months. Hey, how you doing? Or a film, hey, how you doing? Now you put yourself on tape. So everything has changed so dramatically. But the key part is still the same. It's still you and the microphone, you having fun, you expanding whatever it is inside yourself that you see as the possibility of this character. It's still you chasing the stick on the beach, you know, which is the analogy that I think is the best one for a voiceover talent, you know, or for any actor. I remember so many times, you know, when you're an actor, you want to get everything just right. You want to make sure I get this just right. But getting it just right is doing it from your heart. That's what gets it right, you know? As soon as you look over there and you're like, what does the producer want? Then you're not doing the character anymore. You're doing yourself, trying to please the director. So you'll never get the job because you're not being the character if you're trying to do something for someone else. And you won't do the best job in the session if you're just doing, you know, if you're thinking. Like I can remember looking through the window, seeing the producer going like this, and thinking, oh my gosh, he absolutely hates what I'm doing. But just as possible is oh boy, he's really a terrible actor. Let's have him do it again. You know, no, I don't want to have Italian food for lunch again today. Let's have something different. You know, you don't know. So it's important even more that you stay inside yourself, inside your character, and have that fun. And I think it's the same thing in life and love, isn't it? It's when you want to love somebody and you commit to that loving of somebody. You know what the right thing to do is. You don't have to think about it, but you know sometimes you have to put the clutch in so you don't, you know, wait, what's going on and things. And it's certainly a dance. Like life is this beautiful dance of love and joy mixed with sorrow and sadness and all the things that it is. But we always have not the easiest choices, but sometimes we always have the choice of how we interpret our reality and how we respond to our reality. Maybe not what happens to us, but how we come out of it, you know, how we come out of failure or problem or pain, and how we address the next time or the future of things. And I think that's the thing about learning as we go, always continuing to learn and to want to be optimistic, to try to be positive, to try to do it. It's not always easy, but you know you can do your best. And so that's what I try to do. And I will tell you, I guarantee you, I fail so miserably sometimes. It's remarkable to me, you know. And then when I get through it and I look back and I go, how could I? Why was I so? What did I was freaking out, and everything's okay. What's the matter, you know? So my simple wish is that you have lots of laughter, lots of joy, lots of fun, lots of beauty and truth and goodness in your life, and that you really, really do what you love to do in life, and that you have pure happiness and pure joy. And so I just want to say Thank you all very much, and I hope it wasn't too blah blah blah, but thank you for your love and your caring and your participation here, and thank you for your love of the games because that's what brings me out here. So, thank you so much. You number one. Thank you. Thank you. I think. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, and thank you very much to Too Many Games for having me. This is really such a joy, such a thrill to be here. And I'm going to go have a quick little bite to eat, and then I'll be back at the table signing and taking pictures and everything like that. So feel free, come by. It'd be great to see you, and have a wonderful time at the show. Thank you so much. Wahoo!